mans down. Hey, hold your mans down. Hey, who thought you come around? Who did that trap sound? Designer, clothes, fashion, shows, trap, house, made it, gold. Control the bag now. No need to brag now. Hey, put the mask down. We living fast now. Finest, with rose, we can go. Keep watching me with Bob, still be real and fame. Dance with the dogs in the nighttime. In the kitchen, wrist twisted like it's stir fry. Whip it in the kitchen, wrist twisted like it's stir fry. Whip it in the kitchen, wrist twisted like it's stir fry. Whip it in the kitchen, wrist twisted like it's stir fry. Whip it.
Whoa! Guys, we're back. Oh yeah, baby. Welcome to the jungle. We got funs and games. It's Dragon Quest X, and today we're finishing off Allegratio of the 2.0 story. Oh yeah! And I'm gonna talk about self-hate. Yes, don't we love it? Don't we love it? I love to hate myself. Don't you love to hate yourself? I love to hate myself. Self-loathing, guys, and we need to know. We need to identify this shit, because if you don't know you're doing it, that's like even more detrimental than just doing it. But if you do it and you know you do it, there are steps to alleviate yourself of a little bit of self-hate. And I'll go over those too. But today, we are going over 7 traits that self-hating people have. And as I was going over this, oh man, did it shock me, because I do a lot of these. And it's just kind of depressing to have that reality. It's like I always knew I kind of sort of hated myself. But yeah, I do a lot. So much to the fact that I will put a lot of love into the person in front of me and not the person behind the eyes. But that's just how I've been most of my life. Very adolescent age. At a very adolescent age, I was told my value is very low. For some reason, that stuck with me, even when I did the work to make myself more valuable. As I am now, I know I have value to provide, because I'm gonna beat this whole game by myself. Okay, that's very valuable. Especially since hardly anyone in America has done that. So I know, for just, baseline thing there, baseline goofy thing there that nobody really cares about, but I do care about, so I guess somebody cares about. I have value to provide. I have a value. I have worth, self-worth, and I feel like as a guy, that's where a lot of our self-loathing comes from. Maybe as females, it maybe comes from like your attractiveness or your like value in the dating market, but guys, like value in general, like what am I influencing? What am I giving? What am I providing? Essentially, like physically. And that's what made me hate myself a lot. That's what still makes me hate myself a lot. Just the internal thoughts of self-pity and self-worth that I don't have, and a lot of times, even though externally I get a lot of social proof, I get a lot of compliments, I get a lot of tips, a lot of love, I'll always go back home thinking like I didn't do enough, or people didn't like me, or people are just lying to my face. Because I'm Kendrick, bro. I'm Kendrick on the inside. You heard TV off, it's not enough. You solid bitches left, but it's not enough. Okay. But let's get into these things. Let's get into these traits here. Number 1, tearing self down constantly. Yes. So that's the thing, guys. Your internal framework makes up your entire life. We live it in our heads. I don't care what you say. I don't really. At least for me. 100%, I live it up here, because not everybody does this, and I think I've talked about this before in an episode, but not everybody does this, but I have the internal monologue where, unless I am talking or I am listening to someone talk, there's always a dialogue going in my head, of some person talking some shit, talking some mess about how I suck or whatever. Not always how I suck, but that's usually where it goes to. how I suck, how this sucks, how this is ass. Um, and that internal dialogue just constantly sits with me. Sometimes it tells me about what's going on in my environment. Sometimes it tells me what I look like. Sometimes it takes a step out of myself and tells me what other people are thinking or what their actions tell me. But we have to realize this entire internal framework that we use to tear ourselves down and constantly, it's programmed by other people. It's programmed by other states and other beings. And it can be reprogrammed as well. And this is obvious. It's gonna feel weird, obviously, but our brains are very powerful. So, just like computers, if you can program it one way, you can program it the opposite way very easily. And this actually isn't hard. I'll go ahead and give you guys some actionable steps for this. If you have a problem with tearing yourself down constantly, guess what? You can do the opposite. You can do the opposite. It's gonna feel weird, of course. But whenever you say, I fucking suck, I'm fucking shit, you can just turn that around and be like, oh, but I'm fucking awesome though. But I'm fucking awesome though. And you're gonna you're gonna be like, this is stupid. I don't believe it. Whatever, And you're gonna say that for maybe like the first 6 months. But you can reprogram. All you gotta do is just think it. Just loop that stupid thought of like, I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm amazing. I'm amazing. Just loop it. And you can do it. We are all masters of state control, frame control, especially me. And especially you, if you do the deed, if you masturbate, if you have sex, if you do any of that stuff, you're a master of state control. You're a master of mind control. Because especially if you don't use a tool to do that, to get yourself off, then you're constantly looping like the same sensory something in your head, right? To get off. And that's crazy. That you can just like activate yourself like that. That's insane. So take that power and put it into every morning, every night, every time you think badly about yourself, flip the script and be like, but I'm actually the shit though. But I'm actually that guy though. That girl though. That person. I am him. Her. It's a pretty easy change, pretty easy actionable step. But if you have a lot of negative self-talk, a lot of paranoia, I would say it's just a choice. It's a switch we can literally flip. The thing is just deciding. It really is. A lot of times, and this is gonna be triggering to hear, but a lot of times we choose to be in misery. The misery is very comfortable. The pain is very nice. The depression is so happy. I'm not even joking, guys. It's just easier to be a sad and pathetic individual. If you want to be happy, a lot of people aren't going to be happy in that happy state, or they'll go like Kendrick, like, and it's not enough. So why even try if it's not going to be enough? But I've deluded myself to love the chase, to love the journey, to love these 500,000 episodes that I'm going to have to upload to finish this playthrough. I've trained myself to love that. But take the steps you want to in life. You don't got to be like me, but if you already are like me, I recommend taking this path. Not only because it's working for me, but because I feel like just enlightenment and information is something we all need in life. And it's not something we should avoid. I feel like that's what's plaguing this generation. It's just avoiding knowledge. Like, we have these things in our hands that give us all the knowledge, and now we think we know more than the phone. Like, no, I fucking know that. I don't need to look that up. Come on, man. Get over yourself. Get over yourself. There's always more to learn about ourselves, about our race and psyche. Humans are very interesting creatures, so stay curious and stay loving yourself. Another one, because we're talking about self-hate. We're talking about self-hate here. I got a little bit off topic, but we're still on self-hate. And I might have to speed these up a little bit because I think I'm going a little slow for this episode. But number 2 is feeling insecure around others. Yes, insecure. And I especially know I do a little bit of this. Maybe not as much now, but even back then, when I used to get a lot more attention from people, I was very insecure. I was very insecure about not only my attractiveness, but my, I guess, agreeableness. My ability to make people comfortable. Because as a black man, as a Negro, you kind of have to overcompensate with your smiliness, happiness, nature, your goofiness to make people comfortable around you, comfortable to be themselves. Because a lot of times we are seen as the rebellious, angry, more physically demanding race, more authoritative and masculine for whatever reason. Like whenever people talk about masculine traits, I was watching this YouTube video where this guy was talking about masculine traits, and the first comment was, "Thank you for teaching me how to be a black man." So there's a lot of racism, and a lot of black guys can only be masculine type shit, and I've just never really adhered to that. I just kind of wanted to make people comfortable and be comfortable in myself, and centering in the masculine stoic frame never really did that for me. I've always been a goofy guy. I've always liked to make not only other people laugh, but just make myself laugh with my comments and actions. But even then, with all the social proof, all the girls fawning over me, all the guys saying you're cool, I was very insecure. I was very, very insecure about just, people actually liking me, smiling in my face and talking shit and all this other stuff. And there's just no need. You can't let other people put that much stake into your brain because in reality they don't give that much of a shit about you. And that can make you insecure too, but in my eyes, you should take a comment like that and be very free in what you do, Like they don't give a shit about me, so I'm free to do whatever. Not they don't give a shit about me, so my life doesn't mean anything. You see how there's two ways to interpret that? You see how there's two different methods to go about just all depends on how we retool our mind, how we rearrange our brain furniture, right? Another one, this definitely used to be me. It's not me so much anymore, which I'm so glad for. But number 3 is neglecting self-care. Do a lot of self-care now. Well, not a lot, but more than I did before, which is a lot. Just general things, showering, working out, eating healthy, and taking care of my face, my moneymaker. My moneymaker. But I used to just neglect all that shit and just focus on my style really, just get a bunch of change and cool clothes. And sure, you can look max in that way, but the actual self-care, the real self-care that you need to stop your self-loathing and self-hate, it's way deeper than that surface level shit. You got to go where your body is leading you to go. And I'm not gonna give you any tips on how to diet right or how to clean your face. Like it's just obvious shit. Go look it up on Google, man. Like you'll figure it out. But um definitely take care of your skin. I feel like that's the biggest tip. That'll really just help you. A lot of guys I've realized don't wake up in the morning and like put water on their face, like wash their face in the morning, Especially gamers. So if you're a guy who's like stays inside all day and like doesn't shower or whatever, just get up, wash your face. Who cares? That'll be a good first step. Just get up, wash your face. Wash your face, brush your teeth, Well, who cares? Another one is isolation. Now, I do a lot of isolation, but that's just because my love language is spending time with people. So if I spend too much time with you, I'm going to become obsessed with you, and it's not going to be good for me mentally. So once I learned that, I started to value accepting invitations or giving invitations a little bit more. Once I realized how like valuable not only I am but my time is, because just accepting anybody who wants to hang out with you is not going to be, you know, conducive to your social growth. You have to be very, very selective with your friends because we are our environment. The people you hang out with are your environment. So if you isolate yourself from the people you love, that you want to spend time with, this is definitely a self hate thing. Just because you feel like you don't deserve their time or their effort. Um, don't do that. I don't know. I don't know what other tips to do. I feel like isolation is helpful. And for me, it's always been hard to reach out. I don't think that's something I'm gonna work on right now. I don't think that's something I even really want to work on. Because I'm very content only talking to one person for the rest of my life. I've had that phase where I had like a Rolodex and a bunch of girls and guys on call, and it's just not fun. It's too much to manage. It's too many personalities to deal with. Eventually, it got to the area where people were finding out about other people, and friend groups were crossing changes, and then it was getting weird. It's getting weird. So I don't say that's not for everyone. I don't say an open relationship or something like that can't work for guys. I just think it's a phase that a lot of guys want, but don't want the actual reality of. It's kind of like being famous and rich. A lot of people want it without putting in that work, putting in that effort, getting on the grind, and actually, commoditizing themselves. Is something that they don't want to do, but they just want all the bitches, fame, and money. Um, we're going on to number five. Number five is netting. Never letting yourself stay happy. I do this all the time, man. How many times have we accomplished something? How many times have we hit a goal or did something well or had something done on schedule, talked to someone nice, and right after your mind goes, "What? Remember that one thing in high school that you did was really cringe? Think about that." Yeah, man. And that's the thing. I have actually personified that. Personified that character, because I feel like that's really what it is. Life is like a comedy, and in your mind, that character can be personified. I have them on the mind couch. That's good old Tiffany sitting there with her fucking comments every time something good comes on. Tiffany got to be over. Must you remember what that motherfucker said? This other, and she's just an annoying, skinny little white girl that has no life and just sits there and takes care of the kids and makes sure the house is clean. But she always got some shit to say. So Tiffany can say some shit, and we're gonna laugh at her. We're gonna laugh at her, acknowledge her, and move on. That's all you need to do with this. So that's all you need to do, because I know it happens to all of us. But a lot of the times when we have these natural mind blocks or things we keep coming back to that bring us pain, all we have to do is just acknowledge them, laugh at them internally, and just move on. You don't have to ride every mental train that comes up. Sometimes you can just leave that shit at the station, You just, fuck it, I'm gonna stay at the train station. Move on, train. Do your thing. Tiffany don't got time for this shit. Another one, number 6 we have here is putting on a facade for others. I definitely do this a lot, especially when I'm not having a good day, which is most days. But I like to put on the mask. I don't like to be vulnerable. I have been burned before in life, but I don't think not being vulnerable is a solution. I think being selectively vulnerable is a solution. So I just need to figure out where and when I can take the mask off, and that just comes with, observation and trust. And finding these people that we can open up to and trust is very hard in life, but I would say just take your time. And if you ever really want to say something to someone, I would definitely say write it down, record it. And you don't have to send it or anything, but just have those thoughts on paper, read them back, really get deep with it, especially when it's something important to you or someone important to you. Get it out on paper. Stop putting on a show. But that's what life is to me. You know, I've always thought, you know, if I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna have fun doing it. I'm gonna entertain myself and others. So I never let the facade fade when I'm outside. Every time I step out, I think to myself, I say it out loud, I am fun DeMarcus. I am fun Magic Koopa. You know, like I say that right there, and I just lead the party for wherever I've been. But you gotta realize when you self-hate yourself, when you have this self-loathing, that's not like a mask for other people to be happy. That's a mask for other people to not notice that you're sad. So it's all about objectives. There's nothing wrong with being the nice, happy person all the time. But if you actually feel bad and you actually want to be vulnerable and talk to someone about it, um, definitely take the mask off. It's not dangerous. You know, vulnerability can be abused and used, and that is a fear of mine. If you guys saw the last episode, that is a fear of mine. But there's more good people than bad people in the world, and we always got to just trust but verify. Sometimes it takes a while to rebuild that trust and go back to something that is a little bit normal for you trust wise, but just take that time. And the last one that I used to do, but I definitely don't do now, is being afraid. Being afraid to dream big is number 7. Being afraid to dream big. I wanted to do music for a while. Probably since high school is when I started creating beats, you know. And I've always loved listening to music. I've always loved listening to rap, hip hop, R&B, definitely electronic music, definitely video game music. But I was always afraid, you know, like what happens if I become a famous, you know, musician? What happens if I become a famous entertainer or an actor? So I did go to school for, you know, entertainment industry reasons, but I was always like, nah, that couldn't be me, or maybe it'll happen, but probably not when pertaining to aspirations of being a big Hollywood actor or whatever. And it's not like I didn't put the work in. I was putting the work in. I was down in the dumps, in the trenches, putting the work in. But once I realized I was having these self-limiting beliefs on like my market cap, you know, my value, I realized I had to get out of there. I had to get out of there and change my mind state. Because the scary thing about life is that a lot of people can see your worth, and they hope you don't. They hope to dear God you don't, because the thing in life is that us humans want a lot for a little. They want maximum output and minimum effort. So if they see someone who doesn't see their value, who thinks they're trash, but they actually produce crazy good shit, they want to delude you too. They want to delude you and be like, yeah, you are ass. You are trash. So that they can get what you perceive as trash and they perceive as maximum effort. They don't want you to know that you have value. They don't want you to know that. And because I was afraid, I had these self-limiting beliefs, I would constantly get, well, you know, in the last episode, as I was saying, I would constantly get taken advantage of. I had these dreams of, or afraid, I had these smaller dreams, you know, these little aspirations. I was always afraid to go big or advocate for myself in a huge way. And because of that, I didn't do big things. I didn't apply for big things. I didn't think I deserved big things. But I'm here to tell you that you do and I do. If we put in the work, all you gotta do is put it in your mind first. But the important thing is just having a vision, having a thought of where you want to be. For me, I want to be at the end of 7.3. But that's probably not going to happen until 2026. Let's be real here. This playthrough is going to take a while. So we're done with Allegratio. I thank you guys for watching. We're going to Grand Zadora next time. Holy shit, we're almost done with 2.0. So that's very exciting. I hope everybody is having a good whatever day I upload this on. Subscribe, guys. What you doing? You watched this whole fucking thing, you didn't subscribe? Hit the button, please. Please, please. Like the video. like the video, and I'll like you. I won't love you, but I'll like you. Have a good day, guys. See you later.